Okay, should we start? Okay, so first of all, welcome you all in today's GRE workshop. And yes, at the end of this workshop, this workshop will help you to enhance your GRE preparation. Before starting with the presentation, I would like to give you idea or introduction about today's speakers and about our institute, what we exactly provide, what services we offer, and then we'll begin with actual GRE workshop. So for the today's session, two speakers will be there, Anupa ma'am and myself, Pallavi Mughal. I'm GRE student coordinator. And with that, I'm also GRE quantitative reasoning trainer. I'm in this field from last more than 4 years. With me, Anupa ma'am will join in few minutes. She is our joint director and she is mainly responsible for analytical writing and verbal reasoning section of GRE test. And she has 20 plus years of experience in this field. With that, both the trainers here at Akshay Study Abroad Consultancy, we both are certified ETS GRE trainer. So just have a look at our certification. These are our recent certification of GRE. Now, what exactly the services we provide? So basically, we provide the training and counseling. These are the major services we have. In case of training, we help the student in test preparation for GRE, SAT, TOEFL, IELTS, and PTE exam. And for counseling, we help the student in admission counseling, also in visa assistance and application process. So these are the major services we provide to the students. In case of training, we have different mode of training for flexibility of the student. Like we provide the hybrid classes, intensive classes, offline and online classes to the student. Depends the student's comfort, they can join any mode of the training. Now you all know what are the offline and online classes. So offline are something you need to visit the center physically and you need to attend the classes. Online are purely online classes which we conduct on Zoom meetings. With that, the intensive, this is something new that we basically offer to the student, those who want to cover their syllabus within very less time, like within 10 days or 20 days, depends. So these are actually one-to-one classes which are conducted between only faculty and the student. And these intensive classes, we conduct for 20 days or 10 days, depends on student requirement. Mostly the students, those who want to cover their syllabus within less period of time due to many reasons they have, like their university deadlines are approaching, or maybe sometime, they have other reasons that they cannot attend the 2 months training period. So in that case, they prefer the intensive classes. We also help the student. We also provide the mode of conduction, something hybrid classes, and it is something whatever we are doing right now. Yes, yes. So hybrid classes are something at the same time some students join the classes online, some students join the classes in person by physically attending the classes. The same we are doing right now. Some students are joining online and some people are here in front of me. Those are attending the classes physically. So hybrid is the flexible mode for the student. Most of the time students find it flexible because for some topics, they can attend the classes in person if they want, or otherwise, if they are out of station, if there is some other reason that they cannot reach to the class, in that case, they can attend same classes online from home. So this is something about us. In our last 22 years of experience, we have guided more than 5,000 students, and not only guided, we have helped them to get admissions in top rank universities with scholarship. So that is also important, right? To get admission in good university with scholarship. It is the important. I would like to introduce our directors, Mr. Amit Gore sir. He is the founder and director of Akshay Study Abroad Consultants, and he mainly takes care of counseling division. With him, we also have Anupa Gore ma'am. She is our joint director and she is responsible. She is backbone of our train division. Now with this, I would like to hand over this session to Anupa ma'am, and she will explain you about the GRE test, verbal part and general GRE test guidelines. And then I will be there again to explain you GRE quantitative reasoning part. Okay, thank you.
Hello, good evening. Right, students, am I audible to you? Online students?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay, so coming to the next slide. I will be briefing you about GRE test format and how we conduct training at our institution. So GRE is conducted by ETS. This is the first private non-profit organization established in 1947, headquartered in New Jersey and with its subsidiary operating these Indian operations at New Delhi. So educational testing services, and this is the organization that conducts and assesses your GRE test performance. What is GRE? Do you have any idea about this test? Do you know how many sections are there in this test and what the test is about? Any guesses? Have you visited official website of this test, gre.org? Any one of you? Okay, so do you know that it is consisted of 3 parts, that is essay writing. You must be knowing this: quantitative reasoning, maths, and English. So there are 3 parts to this test, and this is aptitude test, rather computer delivered aptitude test, around 2 hours. To be very specifically, 1 hour 58 minutes without break. This we are talking about shorter GRE, that is current GRE, and it measures graduate students' readiness for master's or PhD courses. So this stands for Graduate Record Examination. And today we are going to talk about general GRE test, not the subject GRE test. General GRE meaning students from varied backgrounds appear for this test. So this is called as general GRE test. It doesn't check your specific knowledge about any specific subject, but it does test academic acumen or skills that you have gathered throughout your high school and university education. So it basically tests these points on quantitative reasoning part and verbal reasoning part, that is maths and English. Okay, so many universities in fact gets a fair idea about how a student will perform in his master's course based on his GRE score. So that's the reason this is crucial part of application. GRE score, TOEFL score, or GRE score, IELTS score are crucial parts of your application process. So that's it about the test. Now, to get into detail, it's multiple choice questions and an essay. So first section that you come across in this test is AWA, Analytical Writing Assessment, which is descriptive, that is essay writing section. And then for verbal and quantitative measure, they test your ability in the form of multiple choice questions, MCQs. There is no penalty for guessing, unlike many other aptitude tests, but here you don't get credit for partial correct answer. Then it is for quantitative part, on-screen calculator is available, but this calculator supports very basic functions and not the advanced functions, but yes, it is available for your support. Coming to the next slide, you can see how is it structured. As I said, analytical writing assessment, first section, descriptive essay writing, you have to compulsory type your response on a given issue task. So it's an essay topic and there are instructions as to how do you respond, how do you have to respond to that topic. And based on that, you are given 30 minutes to write your response to a given task. Then any of the sections, you may come across any of the sections, either verbal reasoning or quantitative reasoning. So you can see there are 2 scored sections of quant and 2 scored sections of verbal. But it's like the number of questions are 27, which are divided like 12 questions and 15 questions. So in one section, there are 12 questions and another section, there are 15 questions. Time available for quantitative reasoning is 47 minutes, whereas it is 41 minutes in case of verbal reasoning measure. So there are two sections of each. That means there are 4 sections. Okay, so that means after AWA, you may come across either quant section or verbal section, and the next sections will come alternatively, quant, verbal, quant, like that. Okay, so altogether 1 hour and 58 minutes. This is computer delivered plus section level adaptive. What does it mean by section level adaptive? It means the first section that you come across of any major is of average difficulty or medium difficulty. So there are three difficulty levels: easy, medium, and hard. So whenever you start any of the section of any major, the first section is always medium level difficulty. And then depending upon your performance in that particular section, the difficulty level of next section is decided upon. Okay, so if you do better, I mean, if your score is above XYZ point or XYZ number, then the next section is depending upon that number. Next section is either easy, medium, or hard level. If you do not go at the first section of any major, the next section is going to be of easy level difficulty, and there is going to be penalty for that. So in order to earn those bonus points, it is imperative that you do good in your first section. The first section is decisive. Depending upon that, the next section can be medium or hard. And then depending upon if you come across medium level difficulty or hard level difficulty, you receive bonus points. That's how it goes. Okay. So it is section level difficulty, but the test is conducted in very fair way. So there should not be the question about, is there any, injustice to students who come across medium or hard level section as against students who come across easy level section. Okay, there is equating process. There is this process called as equating process, which takes care of section level difficulty. Okay, so as I said, either there is penalty or there is bonus point. So the test is conducted in very fair way. So you need not worry about that. Your task is to focus on your section and questions and to get as many questions correct as possible. That's it. Okay. And this is applicable for quantitative and verbal both. So now how is it scored? An AWA score is awarded grade between 0 to 6. That means for the essay that you submit, you get a grade for essay that you submit, and it is in 0.5 increment. That means your score on essay writing can be 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, like that. Unlike this quantitative and verbal reasoning score here, where it is +1. Okay, so here your quant score can be 150, 155, 156, 157, and same applicable for verbal reasoning. So this is +1, whereas this is 0.5. You get to know score of quantitative reasoning and verbal reasoning immediately you submit your score, but you get to know AWA score when you receive your score sheet, let's say in 10 to 11 days. Being descriptive, those trainers, they go through your essays. There is also e-rater. Okay. And then they go through it and then award you grade. And hence you get to know when you receive your score sheet. Unlike quant and verbal reasoning, where out of 70, how much did you score in quant, and out of 170, how much did you score in verbal, that you get to know immediately after your test, once you submit the test. Okay. Scores are valid for 5 years from your test date. So in case you want to use the score next year, next to next year, you can do this up till 5 years from the date of appearance for the test. Okay. This is how your score sheet looks like. You can see it's in the form of percentile. You can see this verbal reasoning 164. 164 is, how much it is? 94, yes. 94. That means only 6 percentile students above you. Then 161 is 77 percentile, and your AWA score 4.5, which is 82 percentile. So you can see, how difficult it is to score in verbal section. Average score of Asian students on verbal section is 150. And average score of quant section of Asian students is 155. So any score above 160 in quant and any score above 155 in verbal is above average score. Recently, last week only, one of our students scored 170 on 170 in quant section. Okay, so that's really great. Students from engineering background generally do good in quantitative sections as compared to verbal sections. And your quantitative section is very important. Your score in quantitative section is very important if you are looking for those STEM courses. Okay, STEM courses, science, technology, engineering, and management. So I guess most of you are from engineering background and must be looking for MS, right? So in that case, your performance in quant section is very important. I'm not saying verbal is not important. Okay, that's not the statement. But when it comes to analysis, they do check what's your score in quant, and then they consider overall to make decision on your admission. Okay, any score above 3.54 is considered to be good score in AWS section. Okay, so this is how you should remember. And then any score above 300 is considered to be decent score to get into graduate programs. Above 320 is above average. Any score less than 300, I would suggest you to retake the test. Okay, so that's how it is. And even you have to pay attention to AWS score, because you can see it is awarded separately. Okay, and sometimes those admission committees, the people from admission committee, do view your or do go through your essays to compare your writing skills with the documents or with the skills that you have showcased in the documents that you have submitted, that is SOP, recommendation letter. Okay, so they do go through your essays, so you cannot overlook analytical writing score. Okay, any doubt about this? Clear? Coming to the next slide, yeah. So this is how the section looks like. I mean, these are the skills that essay test. You can see articulate, support complex ideas. So in short or in simple words, to give clear position and to support it. And in order to support it, you must come up with relevant ideas. And for those relevant ideas, you must have adequate explanation in terms of reasoning and examples. So that is construct and evaluate arguments. And then lastly, sustain a focused and coherent discussion. You have to stay on the topic throughout your discussion. That is what sustain. Any discussion off topic and you won't get grade for that. Okay. So sustain a focused and coherent discussion. These are the 3 points which you must remember while you practice on analytical writing skills. You have to, this must be at the back of your mind, that whether my idea is relevant to support my point, whether I have given adequate explanation in terms of examples, reasoning to support my ideas and thereby my position. Okay, so that's how it goes. So AWA, and this is how your sample prompt looks like. You come across topic, this first short paragraph, you can see it's topic, and then the long paragraph, it's instruction. So instruction remains same. Like if you see this topic, as people rely more and more on technology to solve problems, the ability of humans to think for themselves will surely deteriorate. Topic may change. Okay, like there was this topic, teachers' performance should be based on, teachers' salaries should be based on performance of their students. This was the topic. And then the instruction remains same, like this. Discuss the extent to which you agree or disagree with the statement and explain your reasoning for the position you take. This remains same throughout your test. I mean, instruction remains same, and you have to check the topic every time. Then in developing and supporting your position, you should consider ways in which statement might or might not hold true and explain how these considerations shape your position. That means you evaluate, that means you analyze, you check pros and cons. Okay, so that's how it goes. Only one topic appears on screen. There is no choice. Okay, there are no options. So only one topic appears on the screen, and you have to respond to that topic according to given instruction. Okay, simple notepad. They provide a simple notepad, just like quantitative calculator. That notepad supports very basic functions like copy paste and all. You do not get support for auto spell, okay, grammar correction, and that's all. Okay, so you have to be really careful while you type your essay. Understood? Verbal reasoning section. Which skills does this section test. It's like analyze and evaluate written material, synthesize information obtained from it in simple words, whether you are able to understand the given text. Then analyze relationship among component parts of sentences. That means whether you are able to evaluate. Not on understanding is the understanding is not only the aspect, but what do they want to convey? That is what we call as active reading. And if you are able to get that comprehension, interpretation, and apply it to given option, that is application. Okay, so analyze relationships and recognize relationships among words and concepts. Words and concepts, because you also do come across questions on text completion, sentence equivalence, where you need to fill those gaps with the given vocabulary. Okay, so basically verbal reasoning section understands your ability to comprehend the given text, analyze the given text, apply to the given options, and correct choose option. Okay, verbal reasoning section is comprised of 3 question types: reading comprehension, text completion, and sentence equivalence. So you can see reading comprehension is passage-based reading, not as easy as you think. Okay, and text completion and sentence equivalence, these 2 questions are based on, they can broadly term that sentence completion questions, wherein there are the questions, then there are gaps, fill-ups, okay, and you have to fill those gaps with given options. So text completion. And so there are these 3 types of questions that you come across. Reading comprehension. So as I said, students from varied backgrounds take this test. Okay, there is no specific reading comprehension passage type. These passages also are taken from various faculties, and they can be from physical sciences, biological sciences, social sciences, business, arts and humanities, everyday topics. These arts and humanities, passages from arts and humanities, students generally find passages from arts and humanities difficult as compared to physical sciences, biological sciences, because passages from arts and humanities generally belong to literature. Okay, so there are not many students opting for courses in literature or English. So you guys are used to with technical language. You guys are used to, not used to, rather, reading lots of books belonging to arts and humanities. So that's the reason many students find this category difficult as compared to other categories. Okay, but still you can deal with those passages. There is always technique to do with, go ahead with that, okay, to overcome that. So but yes, in general, these are the categories that you come across. Then there are 3 question types, wherein multiple choice in which you select one single answer, multiple choice in which you select multiple answers, and select a sentence from a passage. Okay, don't worry, I am not going to ask you to read this passage and answer the question, but I just want you to understand as to how a particular question type looks like. Like you can see, this is the question, this is the passage, this is the mid length, I can say. This is the, this length of the passage can be considered as mid length passage. So this is how a passage looks like. And then you have this, instruction, select only one answer choice. So that means out of given options, you choose only one. Okay. Another one is, you can see, consider each of the choices separately and select all that apply. So in previous question, there were 5 options. In this question, you can see there are only 3 options. Okay. So here, select all that apply means you can choose more than one option if applicable. It doesn't mean every time you choose more than one. At times, answer can be only one choice, at times 2, at times all 3. It depends. Select all that, apply. Okay, so that's how multiple choice questions looks like. And then the last category is select a sentence. So the question is like, select a sentence that distinguishes 2 ways of integrating rock and classical music. So this is the question that asks you to choose a sentence or highlight a sentence from the passage that matches certain description. And what's that description? Distinguishes 2 ways of integrating rock and classical music. So you just go to that sentence and click over there, and then the sentence gets highlighted. Okay. In actual test, you can see this passage on left side. Okay. And one question at a time on right side. You answer that question, you go to the next question. Okay. The passage remains there itself, and the next question appears on the other part of the screen. Okay. So this is all about reading comprehension. Do you have any doubt here? Okay. Coming to the next, that is sentence text completion question. And how do they look like? Typical features of these text completion questions are there is text, and the text can range from 1 sentence to 5 sentences. So it can be even a short paragraph. Then there are 1 blank, 2 blanks, or 3 blanks. And then depending upon that, there are 3 to 5 choices for each blank. For 1 blank, they offer 5 choices. For 2 blank, per blank, 3 choices. Okay, it's like that. So you can see how these questions look like. It's also important to know what kind of strategies do we use in our class to train students on GRE test. That's very important because you have stipulated time. And during that stipulated time, you have to practice on skills and strategies that exam test rather than do something which is not required. So what do we do? What are the strategies that we use in our class are, number one, rather I will, in short, I will brief you about the steps that are required to take the test and how do we help out with that. So firstly, strategies, getting accustomed to strategies, like there are particular strategies to answer every type of questions. Okay, then you practice on the strategies to improve your accuracy level and to do that task within given time limit. And last but not least is mock test, wherein you practice on remaining focused for 2 hours. For shorter GRE, although it's not that difficult as compared to previous GRE, which used to take 3.5 hours, but it is still required to remain focused till your last question. Okay, so skills require application. I mean, how do you comprehend? What are the steps to comprehension? Then how do you comprehend a given text quickly, because there is always clock on your screen. Okay, then interpretation, how do you deal with vocabulary? So these are the aspects that we discuss in the class. And when you attend those classes for 2 months, you really consolidate on those strategies and they become your muscle memory. Meaning directly or indirectly, you are using those strategies. So when you take actual test, you never realize that you are taking tests. It's like you are doing the normal exercises, regular exercises in your class. Okay, obviously it takes lots of practice. GRE is not that easy. As I said, this average scores are indicator of that. Okay, but yes, with practice, it is possible. Understood? So now let's see how do we discuss. This is the sample question. And the question reads, in parts of the Arctic, the land grades into the land fast ice so dash that you can walk off the coast and not know you are over hidden sea. This is a very simple sentence in front of you. Okay. But ETS always sets traps. These people are, very good at that. Now, if you check this question, you have one sentence, and the first thing that you do is you check your textual clue. Textual clue means what are the words that would help you predict that blank? Would you let me know? Would you let me know in this sentence, which words do you find are important to answer the blank? Any guesses? For that, to make the task more easy, you can divide a given sentence in 2 parts. Okay, and the sentence can be divided where there is comma, where there is colon, semicolon, or some words even suggest that you need to break down the sentence here at that point. So here you can see the sentence can be divided that you can walk off the coast and not know you are over hidden sea. So here, when you go through this sentence, you already know that first part contains blank. So probably the textual clue is going to be there in the second part, because it would be easier for you to comprehend a given text without blank in it, right? You have blank here, so it's not very sure. But here, that you can walk off the cost and know your hidden C. Would you let me know which words are important for you, and try to be short as possible? Words in the sense you should not come up with 4 or 5 words, because that's not the clue then. Hardly 1 or 2 words help you. Any guesses? So you don't know your overhidden C. Okay. Don't know overhidden C. So, and then there is that suggests the logic is continuing. I mean, have you heard of these discourse markers? There are discourse markers like although, however, but, yet. They suggest the logic is contradictory, right? Words like and, because, so, they particularly give reasons. So that means logic is continuing in the same direction. Here, the word that, discourse marker, that suggests that the first part is giving the reason for the second part, right? So you are over hidden C. You are over hidden C and you don't know about that. That means it's unnoticeable. Okay, so you have come over hidden C without you knowing about it, unknowingly. Understood? Now, your prediction for this blank is unknowingly. So that suggests imperceptibly. Because to percept means to be able to notice. Imperceptible. That's how it is. Okay. Now, what are the traps here that are set by the ETS? So number 1 trap is this, precarious. Let me know why. Any guesses? Do you know what is the meaning of this word precarious? Like precarious conditions of people living in Ukraine. Miserable. I mean, dangerous. Precarious financial situation. Okay. Now, why is this trap? This is trap because students tend to choose this option using their imagination that they are over hidden C and it's going to be risky. So ETS knows how to play with your imagination. Okay, so that's the reason they always set such traps. So don't use imagination too much. Don't tell stories to yourself. You even don't have that much time here. Just check the textual clues and go with them. So here, your textual clue you do not know. And that's the reason you choose unnoticeably over precariously. Understood? Okay. Irregularly, students also tend to choose irregularly because they don't know meaning of other words. And they then again tend to think that it's not very regular that you are over hidden C. But you don't have clear clue for regular or irregular. The only clue is you don't know. Understood? Okay. So there are many such things which you must know while you deal with this test so that you practice accordingly. Understood? Clear? So this is just to let you know as to how our training goes. Coming to the next slide, you can see that just the way it was one blank question, TC come under, there are 1 blank, 2 blank and 3 blank questions under TC. Okay, so this is 2 blank question. So there is text, 2 blanks, and then you have to choose correct option from corresponding column. Okay. This is longer text. So as I said, and it contains 3 blanks. Okay, you have to choose correct option from corresponding column. Now here, if you remember, I mentioned that there is no partial credit. You are free to guess, but there is no partial credit. So for 2 blank and 3 blank questions, all the options that you choose must be correct in order to get credit for your answer. Okay, like here it happens students choose all 3 options and out of 3, 2 are correct, 1 is incorrect. But your score is 0 for that. Clear? Okay, so there is no partial credit. Sentence equivalence, yes. So sentence equivalence is also, sentence completion question. But unlike TC questions, for TC questions, you choose 1 option for 1 blank. For sentence equivalence, you choose 2 options for 1 blank. Okay, so here is the question on your screen. It's always 1 sentence. For sentence equivalence, it's always 1 sentence and 1 blank and 6 options. You choose 2 options which are similar to each other because that suggests equivalence. Okay, similar to each other. So that's how it goes. For most of these given options, there are two pairs. 80% of the cases, there are two pairs. 20%, there can be one pair or three pairs. Okay. So the technique that we use over here is like unlike, TC, where you first go through the question and then check options. Here, we first check the options. Because as I said, there is no partial credit. So you must be confident about the pair that you choose. Okay, so identify pair or pairs and then go through the question. Because then the possibility is 50-50. Okay, so that's how it works. Sentence equivalence. Yes, quantitative reasoning. So that's it about verbal reasoning part. Do you have any doubt, guys? Was it clear? Okay. Now I request Pallavi ma'am to go ahead with the presentation.
All right, so I'm again here to give you detailed idea about quantitative reasoning section. So as on screen, you can see the quantitative reasoning section. It mainly access to check your basic mathematical skills, to check your understanding of elementary mathematical concepts, and to check the ability to reason quantitatively and to model and solve the problem with quantitative methods. Now, any type of quantitative reasoning problem, these three major things they will check. Like if problem is from trigonometry section, so they will not check which trigonometric formulas you know, or rather they will not check what concepts, what theorems you know. They will check how you use your fundamental knowledge to solve that problem. Okay, so these are the major assessment they do in quantitative reasoning section. Now the topics which are included in your GRE syllabus for quantitative reasoning section, they are arithmetic, algebra, geometry, and data analysis. Okay, so they are the main sections. They are included in your syllabus, but it doesn't mean that only these 4 chapters are there. There are subtopics, and that you will see on next slides, which are exactly those subtopics in each and every major here. So first, as we seen there, the arithmetic, it includes the topics like integers, then divisibility rule, factorization, prime numbers concept. Do you remember that concept of prime numbers? Prime and composite numbers, and how to use that concept to find out GCD and LCM calculation. Obviously, the question will not be like calculate GCD and LCM for given numbers, but you may need to use that concept somewhere in the word problems. Okay. With that, the reminders concept, the divisibility rules of the numbers, odd and even integers. It is something, the type of the numbers, like real numbers, imaginary numbers, then what are the fractions, what are the rational numbers, then negative numbers, positive numbers, even, odd, and what are the difference between them, how to convert how to convert decimal into fraction or fraction to decimal. Mixed fraction concept is the proper, improper fraction. So all those type of the things, whatever we have studied in 7th or 8th standard, that we need to brush up again to use in GRE. With that, arithmetic operations, exponents and roots is one of the concept explained here. Exponents and roots, okay, and estimation, percentage, and ratio calculation. Okay, so somewhere ratio will be given to you, and you need to find out some exact numbers from those provided ratio. Proportion with ratio and proportion quantities would be given to you. With that, percent increase calculation, percent decrease calculation, or else sometimes they will provide you percent increase or decrease, and you need to find out the values. In simple language, we can say the price of pen in 1995 is 5 rupees. And if this price is increased by 20% in 1 year, then what is the price of same pen in next year? So this type of the questions you need to solve. See, they are simple to solve. Now, this question which I have mentioned now, that is simple to solve. But again, here time management is important. We don't have that much time to solve. It's not like that engineering exam, or it's not like that school exam. Now, you have 3 hours time and you need to write your paper. It is something you have to cover your test within stipulated time, whatever time is provided to you. And that's why time management is crucial factor that you need to focus here. So obviously you need to use some strategies, you need to some tricks to solve these problems. With that, the second major, which is included in your GRE quantitative reasoning syllabus, it is operations with exponents. Sorry, algebra section, and it includes the following subtopics. First with operation with exponents, then algebraic equations. Do you know what is meant by equation? Tell me. Any example also you can give if you don't have specific definition for that. Equation. Can I say 2x plus 3 is equation? It's equation. And if I say 2x plus 3, let me write down here on screen so it will avoid the confusion. Yes, so 2x plus 3. Is it equation? Okay. And what if I say 2x plus 3? Okay, I got one answer from online students and she is saying no. That's good. 2x plus 3 is 5. Then what is this? And if second is equation, then what is first? Confused? Yes, Kunjan, second one is equation. That's correct. First one is called as an expression. Okay, the first one is expression. Whenever equal to sign and left hand side, right hand side terms are there, only then we can call it as an equation. Okay, so this is actually the basic concept that I always start my algebra topic with this question: what is equation, expression? And if you have some example for equation, then what if I say 2x plus 3, then what it will be? Okay, so likewise, I always start my algebra topic and student always fail to answer the second question of my. Yes, so what is the equation and expression? This is the first thing that you need to understand before starting with the algebra topic, because in each and every concept of algebra, you need to deal with equation and expressions. Okay. Secondly, yes, operations with different type of the equations that you need to do in algebra, like linear equations and polynomial equations. Okay, with quadratic equation, cubic equation, so all they are the part of the polynomial equation. So you have to solve different type of the equations. With that, if we include the coordinate geometry topic, which is again mentioned in your syllabus, in that topic you need to plot the graph of these equations. Okay, so if linear equation is there, then if you try to plot that graph, plot that equation on a graph, then which type of graph it will generate? Do you have any idea, rough idea? Straight line, that's good. So if equation is linear, the graph it will generate that will be a straight line. What if equation is quadratic? First of all, tell me what is quadratic equation? Again, I don't want definition because you can tell me the simple example for quadratic equation.
With the highest power 2.
That's good. The equation with highest power 2 is called as a quadratic equation, and the standard form of quadratic equation, just for your information, ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0. This is the standard form of quadratic equation. With highest power is 2, it means it is a quadratic equation. If highest power is 1, it is a linear equation. With highest power is 3, it is called as a cubic equation. Okay, so more 2 and more than 2, they all are called as a polynomial type of the equation, sorry. And if you try to plot this quadratic equation on a graph, you will get parabola. Okay, so that we need to discuss if you are studying, if you are planning to study for GRE quantitative reasoning. So we can say the theoretical part, which is something how to solve the equations on paper, and the practical part, how to plot their graphs, and then how to get the same answer whatever you are getting from solving on papers. Okay. Next to that, solving simultaneous equation and inequalities. Now we know 2x plus 3 equals to 0 is equation. Can you tell me any one example for inequality?
Is greater than 2.
Okay, so instead of this equal sign, if I use greater than or greater than equal to, or less than equal to, or greater than or less than, so those type of the equations or algebraic expression, they are called as inequalities. So the equations which are separated by inequality signs, that they are called as the inequality type of the equations. And the left hand side, right hand side, or the combinations which are separated with equal to sign, they are called as the equation. And if there is no equal to sign included, they are called as only expression. Okay, so these are the three main things that you should know before starting with algebra topic. With that, the coordinate geometry topic, it is again the practical drawing or the graphing of the equations, including graphs of the function, equation, and inequalities, intercepts, and slopes of the line. So equation of line, that part is explained in detail, and that you have to study in algebra. So these all are the topics which are included in algebra section. Basically, the arithmetic and algebra section has maximum weightage as compared to remaining two sections. The next 1/3 section is geometry section, which only include two topics, basic geometry and solid geometry. But again, in each topic, the large number of subtopics are included. So the parallel and perpendicular lines, circle, then triangle, different type of the triangle, their theorems, and the properties of the triangles. The Pythagoras theorem that we already have studied, 30, 60, 90 special right angle triangle cases, 45, 45, 90 triangle cases, quadrilateral and other polygons. So quadrilateral, it is a four-sided figure. Other polygon, it is not that much included, but quadrilateral is a part of polygon. Okay, other polygon, they are only included to find out the total interior angle sum and to find out the individual angle sum if you know total interior angles. So that part is there. Congruent and similar figures, yes, it is mostly included in case of triangle, congruent triangles and similar triangles. Three-dimensional figure, this is the another part, another topic, solid geometry. This is the solid geometry topic, in which you need to deal with cube, cuboid, right circular cylinder. Only their perimeter, only their surface area and volume calculation, not more than that. So don't worry about that. Okay, you don't have to prove any theorem over there, and you don't have to study that in that much deep to prove anything. Okay, so that is only to find out the surface area and volume. Otherwise, the volume or surface area they will provide, you only need to find out the lengths. Okay, with that area, obviously the area of triangle and area of quadrilaterals, area of square, then area of rectangle, parallelogram, trapezium, that are included. Perimeter, obviously for two-dimensional figures, volume, obviously for three-dimensional figure, and the Pythagorean theorem and angle measurement in degrees. So these are the topics which are included in geometry section. And the last most, it is data analysis. Now, as per the name given, data analysis, it means you need to analyze given data and just answer the questions based on them. Okay, so it is something like you will be provided with some sort of graph, like bar graph, pie chart, this type of the graph, scatter plot, line graph, and you only need to read that graph, analyze it properly, and then answer the questions based on that. Mostly 3 questions would be there on one graph, and you will find one data analysis question in one per section. Okay, so as there are 2 sections, so you will find 2 different data interpretation questions on that. With that, data analysis is not only include that graph and reading and then answering the questions, it also includes some topics, which is statistics topic of your 8th standard. Mean calculation, mean it's something average. Median calculation, mode calculation, these 3 we all know, but with that, it also includes the percentile calculation that we already have seen on your that GRE scorecard. Okay, so percentile calculation, quartile and interquartile range. Okay, so they all are included here in data analysis section. Yes, probability, your favorite topic, is also there. So probability, and with that, it also includes the permutation and combination, Venn diagrams. So these all are the topics which are included in data analysis, in which some sort of data they will provide to you. You need to do some work on that and then get your final answer. Like if you want to find out average, they will provide you list of numbers. You need to analyze them properly, use proper formula, and then get your answer. So this is data analysis. And that type of the question in which some graph they will provide to you and you have to solve the questions based on that, they are called as a data interpretation. Okay. So this is the last section which is included in your GRE syllabus. Now with that, we also need to discuss something about the type of the questions. Okay. As in case of verbal reasoning, in quantitative reasoning also, you will see different type of the questions, from which the first is the quantitative comparison question. We'll see one example based on that. Second one is multiple choice question that we all know. A question will be given to you with 5 option choices and you need to select single correct answer. Third one is multiple choice question in which select one or more answer choices. Okay, but all should be correct. Okay, so it means if for that particular question, correct answer choices are A, B, and C, and if you only choose A and B, then you will get 0 point for that. Okay, so because partial credit is not there, so 0 point will be you will get 0 point for that. Even if you choose A, B, C, and extra one option that is D, again you will get 0. So 1 point, if you want, then you need to choose A, B, C. Those are correct. Okay, so only that combination will give you full marks. Last one is the numeric entry type of the question. It is something, the question without options. Okay, so one question will be there and below that question, one empty box will be there. And you need to enter your answer over there in that empty box. Whatever you got after solving the question. So these are the major 4 type of the questions you will see in quantitative reasoning section. Now we'll see one by one each and every type of the question. The first one, quantitative comparison question. It is something you will be given with 2 different quantities in 2 different columns, which is written as quantity A, quantity B. Okay, you simply need to solve those 2 quantity, get your answer and compare your answer. Okay, let's say you got for quantity A, you got 5 answer. For quantity B, you got 3 answer. Compare your answer. If quantity A is greater, A should be your answer, option A. Quantity B is greater, option B. It may possible that both quantities are equal, then C. And the data given is insufficient, is possible for most of the cases. So D is your answer. So this sequence is always fixed if it is a quantitative comparison question. One more thing, when you start your quantitative reasoning section, first 4 or 5 or 6 questions may be there, but strictly you will find those questions on quantitative comparison only. If you find quantitative comparison type of the questions difficult, to keep your confidence boost, you can start directly from MCQ type of the question and you can directly skip first 5 questions if you want to solve them later, or it may possible that some students feel that because of quantitative comparison they lose their confidence and it affect on next part of the next questions of the section. So they just skip first 5 questions, they directly start from 6th or 7th question and at the end they again start solving this QC type of the question. But again, it is a risky factor. Okay, so it's upon you. Obviously, once you practice, then students can find out what exactly they want to do. Yes, so this is the simple example listed here for quantitative comparison type of the question. You can just have a look of this example. The least quantity A says the least prime number greater than 24. Do you know prime numbers? Tell me what is the least prime number which is greater than 24? Greater than 24. What is the next number? Next number, next to 24. What is the number? Not prime. I only want in sequence. What is the next natural number after 24? 25. 25. Is it prime? No. Okay. 26 is prime? No. 27. First of all, can you please tell me what is meant by prime numbers? Yes, the numbers which is not divisible by any other number, they are only divisible by 1 and itself. So that number after 24, that number is 29. 27 is divisible by 3. 9 into 3 is 27. Okay, so 29 is the least prime number which is greater than 24. So we got our answer for quantity A. Go for quantity B, which says the greatest prime number less than 28. Less than 28. 23. Good. Now which quantity is greater? Quantity is greater, 29 is greater than 23. So your answer is quantity A. That's it. So this is the quantitative comparison type of the question. Yes, so explanation is given here that we already solved. Second type of the question, it is multiple choice question. Select one answer choice. So we all are familiar with this type of the questions, right? You need to select single correct answer from given options, but here instead of 4 options, 5 options they provide. Question is, which of the following numbers is farthest from the number 1 on number line? See, it may possible that the answer mark here is wrong, okay? So don't rely on that one. Yes? Answer is right, okay? Which of the following number is farthest from number 1 on number line? You can see explanation here with number line. So obviously for actual exam also you need to draw a number line that will clear your idea, okay? If you are only solving it without drawing any figure or without drawing proper number line, 100% you will get wrong answer for that. So number line if you draw, then you will get their distance, and that is the 11. So the correct answer, whatever they have shown, -10 is farthest from 0 on number line. Okay. So this is the second type of the question. Select single answer choice. The third type of the question, multiple choice question again, but you need to select more than one answers and all should be correct. Okay. One question is again given here for this type. Yes. So again, question is in brief, it is given. So we'll avoid solving of this question and all. But you need to select all those correct answers which are possible for that. Here A and B both are correct. So you need to select both answers only, then you will get 1 point for that. Otherwise you will get 0. Even if you choose A, B and C. Okay, so for this type of the questions, you need to be more alert. With that type of the question, you also have to be more attentive when you are solving numeric entry type of the question, because you don't have any option to choose, right? So for numeric entry questions, it will be given something like this: one question with empty box below that question, and you simply need to type your answer over there by using your mouse and keyboard. Okay, so this is the example of numeric entry type of the question on screen, and here it is explained how to solve. Now for each and every the competitive exams, you must know the top tips to the strategies you must know, because we have to deal with time. We don't have that much time to solve. If 27 questions are there, so limited time is provided. So top tips are required, how you can use the features which are provided in your ETS, in your actual test account. Some features are they provide to you, like calculator they provide to you. When you have to use the calculator, maybe sometime the calculator is also more time consuming as compared to manual calculation. So this some top tips that you must know and practice is the most important tips. So Anupam ma'am will guide you in detail for those top tips. Thank you.
Okay, so you got the brief idea about the quant and verbal part of the test. Now coming to top tips, these are a few features that ETS software does provide. And you can see that there is this chart, and the chart is given to navigate through that particular section. Like, you remember we discussed that the first section of any major is important. And in that, your task is to get as many correct as possible. So you may want to focus on easier questions first, followed by more difficult and time-consuming questions. So you can, skip and go to the next question, depending upon your convenience to solve those questions, and return to the questions that you haven't solved. And you can do this while you are within that section. So to allow you this, the feature is provided, that is review feature, to review the questions that you haven't finished, and you want to return to those questions and finish those questions. Okay, so this helps you to solve easier questions followed by difficult questions. Understand response required, that is single answer, one or more, or numeric answer. Answer every question, because no penalty for guessing. So finish all the questions, mark all the options, keep track of time, that is don't spend unreasonable amount of time on one single question. Give question reasonable time for depending upon its type. Then use scratch paper. Yes, test takers do provide you with the scratch paper. So you can use the scratch papers to do your rough work. And then last but not least is, yes, practice. This is especially for time management. time management is very important. You hardly get the time to, revise all the questions and then do check them again. So it's like you have to be very much comfortable to solve particular number of questions during particular number of time. Okay. And there is no other shortcut other than practice. For that reason, we are, conducting mock test over here, section test, mock test. There are regular sessions plus extra sessions for test takers 2 weeks prior to their test date. Because, we are capitalizing on Indian mentality here that students become serious only when they schedule their exam. Okay. So we try to get maximum out of that, call them here, take their practices, ask them to come for mock test, schedule their mock test. So this helps them in actual test. They get a lot of confidence to appear for the test. So separate faculty, you can see, Pallavi ma'am and I conducting quantitative and reasoning, verbal reasoning section separately. So we do have separate faculty for that. And because of that, the advantage is you can book doubt solving sessions as many as possible with individual faculty wherever and which major you have doubt accordingly. Then we use only official study material. This is because the practices or the strategies that you are going to practice work best on official guide. Third party material sometimes here and there. So, and ETS is very unique in, framing the test and assessing those tests. So, we do use, you will find only official copies or official guide is being used in the class. Convenience to attend in person and online. In the beginning, ma'am mentioned that the classes are conducted on hybrid mode, online, offline. And as I mentioned, unlimited doubt solving session, multiple mock tests, and extra classes for weak students. Weak students in the sense, it's been observed that after their school, students are not in touch with the basics, whether it is basics of maths, whether it is basics of English. So to rebrush, to bring them at par, we conduct these extra classes to help them do more GRE specific practice. Okay. So these are the classes which are conducted apart from the regular classes. You can check our scores. These are the scores. You can also see over here. These are our latest scores. And as I said, last week itself, one of our students got the 170 on quantitative section. You can also check his number on third, Naman Bhagat, 324. He also got his AWA score, which is 3.5. Okay, so as I said, any score above 320 is above average score. Okay, and you can see most of them like 336, 330, really exceptional. 324 on shorter GRE. This is 324 on shorter GRE. You can also see 323, then 320. Many of these students are, or many of these students were PhD students looking for PhD course. For PhD, the requirement is really high. Okay, 320 above, because the courses are very competitive and they give you full scholarship plus TA and RA stipend to help you survive. Okay, so requirement of GRE is really very high. Okay, for the faculties like computer science, IT, ET, these courses are very competitive. So 320 above is considered to be a good score. Yes, these are the details about our new batch, and the batches are starting from Monday. And weekend batch starting from this next weekend, that is Saturday. You can check the time, 6:30 to 8 in the evening, Monday to Thursday. And weekend batch is conducted on weekends, that is Saturday and Sunday. Okay, the start dates, you can also check the start dates, 16 January and 20th January. It's advisable to start right from the first class because you get a good hold on what we are teaching in the class. So I do suggest you to start right from the first class. Okay. Then, yes, these are the few resources that you can check, official resources to, in case you want to dive deeper into the test, you can just, look into these resources. And this is, yes, thank you so much for patient listening. And you can scan this QR code if you want, because then you will have access to the whole presentation. So in case you want, you can just scan this QR code. Any doubt? Offline, online, any doubt here? Did you get a good idea about the test training? All of you? Okay. All right then. Thank you so much.